Well, moving ahead to someone who has deep links with India is Chris Delaware. Chris was born in Kanpur and she actually grew up in Mumbai where her father worked for a vegetable oil extraction company. Not surprising that she went on to study Indology in the University of Ghent in Belgium. And then after that she continued to teach. Now, she then went on to work at the museum as a curator, and now she does something quite spectacular. She does guided tours to the Jain temple in Belgium. So, Chris, what greater privilege than to have Muni Kishanlalji here with us to listen to your talk. You have all of us coming to you at some point of time, or aspiring to come to you in Belgium to get that tour. But in the meantime, since you've toured all the way here to India, we'll take advantage of your visit here and request you to please speak.
Respected audience, Jai Jininder. In the past few days, we have heard enlightened words from Munis, Sadhvis, Samanis. We have listened to interesting views from scholars and businessmen, and also listened to personal stories and experiences. At the closing of the conference, I think it's time to take action and see what commitment we can do. But the contributions were all very inspiring, and I'm extremely grateful to all the people who have helped to organize this conference. Also Shivani and the girls helping us like white angels always in our neighborhood. But of course my most respected thanks go to Mr. Surendra Patwari, whom I also know from Antwerp, where he is a very respected person. Bahut dhanyavad for giving us the experience, the opportunity to experience Jainism from the inside, of being close to Munis and Sadhvis and experiencing it in that way. So, once again, dhanyavad. Today, I wish to share my commitment. I have made a resolve to explicitly mention the Anuvrat movement in the lectures, the guided tours, and the exhibitions that I make in Antwerp in Belgium. And I suddenly realized that the most important thing is to make people aware of these universal values of Jainism and the high ethics of Jainism. And I think I can contribute because I am in a position of reaching a large number of very common people in Belgium, people who have not even heard of the word of Jainism. And I realized this weekend that I should use this position. And I think for all of us, when we return now, we should reflect on what we can do from our field in our circle where we live in. And usually I start my talks by saying how amazing it is that numerically small number of Jains, a small community, has such a large contribution in Belgium, in India, and in the world in the field of economy, art and architecture, and ethics. And I think from now onwards I will certainly link the economy and the ethics with the Anuvrat movement. And I will use two platforms. One is the museum, and the other is the Jain temple in Antwerp. Both are under the political care of our vice major who combines a very special responsibility, that of culture, religious affairs, and environment and waste control. all of a sudden it occurred to me, and it's the first time that the vice mayor has all these three responsibilities. So the first thing I will do when I return is talk to him. I have monthly meetings also with this vice mayor. In the museum, I am a curator, so the museum opened in 2011, and I had the privilege of making a permanent exhibit, gallery on life and death, living and dying. And in that, I gave a large position to the Indian religions, Jainism, Hinduism, Buddhism. After 1 year of opening, the museum had 1 million visitors. And for a small country and town like Antwerp, this is a large amount of people. And when questioned, it seemed that their favorite gallery was that on living and dying. Now, not all that is my merit, but I just conclude that today in West European secular society, museums have also become a source of inspiration for the personal search of identity and the meaning of life. And and I noticed that just showing beautiful statues of Tirthankars, cosmograms, manuscripts, and pointing out a few important values of Jainism inspires people. Recently, just before coming here, I opened a temporary exhibition on pilgrimage. And there I tried to show how universally, people experience pilgrimage in very much the same way. And the presentation, I present works of art, masterpieces also, of different cultures and religions. And we see that there are differences in traditions, there are differences in objects, but the emotions that people experience when visiting holy places is actually universal. And the conclusion of the exhibition is also that we feel this unitedness, and I've even made at the end of the exhibition a quiet room where people can sit and reflect. After going through the beginning of a pilgrimage, which is full of expectations and hope, but then the journey is often very difficult. One is overwhelmed when reaching the sanctuary, and that can lead to an inner transformation. When coming home, people have a feeling of catharsis, but also come to the conclusion that something has changed, that they have new views. So that is what I hope visitors will experience when they visit the exhibition and see the similarities and respect the differences. But perhaps this can also be used as a metaphor for what we are supposed to do now when we go home. We will also start a pilgrimage of making people of awareness, making people aware. The second platform is that of the Jain temple, which was built in a period of 10 years in white marble in Antwerp. It opened in 2010, and in the beginning was restricted to the Jain community. Without imposing anything, I just offered my service as a tour guide, and I suggested that I could take Belgian visitors around in the temple, give them some explanation, just 1 hour before closing time, so I wouldn't disturb the meditation or pujas going on. And that was accepted. And there again, I just asked the numbers before coming here, and to my surprise, I noticed that we also receive more than 10,000 common Belgians in the Jain temple today. So there is also a place where where we can talk about the universal values. And I just start by showing the beauty of the temple. And mind you, many come just for the building and come with a lot of prejudices. But after the tour, it is very rewarding to see that there is a transformation. And after hearing about ahimsa, non-violence, also non-proselytism is something that is appreciated in the West. It's a personal search, certainly the views on Anikantavada. And when at the end, I end the tour with the beautiful mantra, Michami Dukkadam, asking forgiveness. I noticed that somehow the hearts have been touched, and there are visitors that really are moved to tears. And that is a consequence of the atmosphere of the temple, which contributes to this. And all I want to say is that it's by touching the heart that I think we will get the knowledge and the right conduct as a consequence. And very often, I was just telling Sauni also, at the end of the tour, many Belgians ask me, how can I become a Jain? And then I just say, well, start by being a vegetarian. You will be for 50% already automatically Jain. And now if you be non-violent in words, deeds, and thoughts, you are already very well on your way. All right, just to conclude, I would like to show a film we made on a pilgrimage, and I was requested to show it. It's a film that I show in the museum, but also in the temple. There it is, the white marble temple with a large cultural, the Jain cultural center of Antwerp. The white marble comes from Makrana, and it was sculptured in India and then brought to Antwerp. It allows now about 500 Jain families to do their pujas in Antwerp, and as you can see, most belong to the elaborate pujas are very typical for the Shvetambar, Theravāsin Jains. But mind you, in Antwerp there are also Stanagvasi, Therapanta, and even Digambara. But a minority. Majority is Gujarati and Shvetambar Theravāsin. The temple is dedicated to Lord Parshvanath, but there are 5 other statues of Tirthankars as well. Jains in Antwerp often go back to India. This is a Tirthapatta. In the museum we have a very large Tirthapatta also of Palitana.
And some other places also, but Palitana is a very holy place. Whenever we get a chance, whenever most of the people, whenever they go to India, they like to go. There are few people, they go once in a year. Some people are going once in 2 years, and some people are going twice a year. So in Jainism it says you should go to Palitana, because it's a very holy place, a very eternal place.
In Gujarat, langs de drukke baan van Ahmedabad naar Palitana, zijn kleine groepjes in het wit geklede.
These 2 families go regularly to Gujarat and Palitana because it's an opportunity to meet sadhus and sadhvis, which can help them in their life also.
Not even a plane. Monks are not allowed to go by any kind of vehicle. They always go walk on the foot and barefoot. That's the reason why monks cannot live in Antwerp. They cannot come in Antwerp. Not only Antwerp, but anywhere outside India.
In fact, our aim was to talk to Hitruchi, that's a diamond dealer who became a monk and wanders through India now. It was not easy to find him. Finally, we found him. We spoke for more than an hour, but he refused to be filmed or to do an interview and film because he said his statement that he was against the use of modern technology and the production of cameras. And he was very right when he said, my statement will be more powerful when you tell this story again and again than when you show my interview again and again. On the way from Ahmedabad to Palitana, you will see that a lot of temples are still being constructed. It's an ancient tradition, and so we see that Jains in the diaspora also follow this tradition in order to give their fellow Jains the opportunity to follow their religion.
Hij is altijd bereid pelgrims te zegenen met welriekend sandelhoutpoeder.
Palitana is an exceptional town because you will find no butcher and no alcohol. So the butchers have been paid to settle elsewhere, and it's a purely vegetarian town. This is a dharamshala which was built by Jain diamond merchants from Belgium. And it allows people who are on pilgrimage to stay there. And it also gives them an opportunity to give alms and donations to the sadhvis passing. And this is an occasion, an opportunity you do not get in Antwerp.
House to house,
and
take a little bit of food without depriving the children or the household. Take the minimum.
Badam appu? Biju kai? I am offering this all dry fruit and all the different kind of things to the Masati ji. This I offering to them because it's better for us to offering because my karma nijara also. If we offer the
as
food.
you know, it's the lay person who says thank you to the monk or the sadhvi because they get the opportunity to purify their karma and their soul by giving these alms.
Van de heilige berg beginnen, eerst nog een monnikenleraar consulteren. Ze weten dat als ze de verlossing willen bereiken, ze zelf ook monnik of non moeten worden. En dat betekent een streng ascetisch leven leiden. Door te vasten en boete te doen, kan een monnik zijn ziel zuiveren van alle zonden. Hij beseft dat het lichaam slechts een tijdelijk omhulsel is en richt zich volledig op de geest. Om zich daarin
Follow
te
the
oefenen,
families
trekt
doing
Jain
the climb to Shatrunjay.
Bhushan Maharaj heeft zijn intrek genomen in een naburig tempelgebouw en legt uit
And
dat je
before
alleen als monnik
starting their
het gebod
pilgrimage,
van
they
niet doden consequent
visit
kan toepassen.
Acharya.
સાધુ ભગવાન મુપત્તિ રાખે છે મુપત્તિ રાખવાનું કારણ શું
મેં હમણાં જ તમને કહ્યું કે આ મુપત્તિ આ મોઢાની સામે રાખવાની કારણ
The
કે આપણે જ્યારે
explanation of
બોલીએ
the Mopati
તો બોલતી વખતે આપણા
and the
શરીરમાંથી
broom, which
હવા
are the
આવે
most
છે.
important symbols for Jains.
એના કારણે બધા ક્લિક પડે તો ઘણી વખત જો વધારે પડતી ગરમી હોય તો મરી પણ જાય તો આપણા હવાના
Because
કારણે
even
એ
the
જીવો
warm
મરી
breath
ના
could
જાય.
kill
એટલા
small
માટે
creatures in the air.
હમણાં કહ્યું જસ્ટ બિફોર જ્યારે અમે દીક્ષા લઈએ ત્યારે અમને સૌથી પહેલા આપવામાં આવે આ બીજાના કપડા બધા પછી આવે સૌથી પહેલા ઓવો
Oval,
આવે
as you
આ
know,
ઓવો એ સૌથી પહેલું ચિહ્ન છે
is also an important symbol.
એની નિશાની આ એટલે જ્યાં સુધી અમારો અમે શરીરમાં પ્રાણ છે ત્યાં સુધી આ રાખીએ કદાચ અમારી પાસે બીજું કોઈ ઉપકરણ જોવા ના મળે તો પણ આ અને આ મળે બે વસ્તુ તો તમને મળે છે કારણ કે અમારો સાધુ જીવનનો પ્રાણ કહેવાય આને મૂકીને અમે એક હાથથી વધારે અંતર દૂર ના જઈ શકીએ શેના માટે છે તો જ્યાં પણ અમારે બેસવું છે ઉઠવું છે કોઈ પણ વસ્તુ લેવી મૂકવી છે તો અમે પૂંજી લઈએ બેસવું છે તો તેને
As you know, it's to avoid the killing also of small
ઘણા જીવો એટલા બધા સૂક્ષ્મ છે કે જે આપણને આંખથી પણ દેખાતા નથી.
Monniken en leken vereren de voet van de berg voor ze aan de bedevaart beginnen.
The the temples in on the Mount Shatrunjay are all in white marble on the top of a hill. There are more than 800 shrines and temples. And the temple in Antwerp is also inspired on these temples between the 10th and the 15th century. The climb requires some effort. It takes about 2 hours to climb a height of about 700 meters above sea level.
For Jatra. Normally, every Jain, they have to go for the Palitana Jatra.
It's a long way to go.
Yeah, it's a very long way.
More than 3,000 steps.
So 3,000 steps to be climbed. And I have noticed that in Antwerp, the doing of this yatra has become like an initiation rite. And youngsters, when they have completed this, are also celebrated in the cultural center of the temple. For the Belgian audience and the non-Jain visitors, pilgrimage is of course a thing in which they can recognize themselves also, and certainly in the experiences and following the life of common Jain people. Shatrunjay actually means the victory over the enemy. And we should take it spiritually, meaning the victory over passions in order to attain liberation. Some monks... First listen to the explanation. Says that this is a very special place, this is a holy and sacred place because of the vibrations of so many people who have walked on it with the right attitude.
Jainisme,
To start with the
boeddhisme en
Tirthankars
hindoeïsme
have
zijn
been
drie
there,
oeroude religies die in India zijn
many forms of life attained liberation, certainly also animals and plants. And it is that gives a special atmosphere to this place. I don't know if we can do a fast forward. I think they've nearly reached the top.
In India zijn er zo'n 10 miljoen aanhangers van het Jainisme. Hun voornaamste gebod is het niet doden van alles wat leeft. Rijke Jainhandelaars organiseren en betalen vaak een pelgrimstocht voor een groep mensen.
See, I have to
De verdiensten die ze hiermee verkrijgen
but it
is
would be a
veel
shame to
groter
end
dan
before they've
andere
reached the top.
De berg beklimmen geldt ook als een initiatieritueel. Jongeren die deze tocht gedaan hebben, worden volwaardig Jain beschouwd.
The history of this pilgrimage is
Put a little higher.
long ago, millions of years, and this mountain will stay for another millions of years. And all the 24 Tirthankars have gone on this mountain. They have climbed this mountain. So the vibration of those Tirthankars are still here on this mountain. And then when we go on this mountain, all this vibration can affect us. It helps us to purification of our soul.
So it makes clear that places of pilgrimage are places where people feel connected with their past, the present, and the future. And it is always a very individual, personal experience. The journey is very important, the journey, which can be very difficult, but in the end there is this inner transformation and the feeling that they are united with the fellow Jains, but also with other people in the world.
Is ongeveer 700 meter hoog. De klim tussen twee heuveltoppen is er over een lengte van 3 toeks. Wijken met bij de 2 poorten naar de tempel van Adina. Goden, maar zuiveren hier zelf hun
As you know, Jains do not bring puja to ask favors or grace. but it is a way of finding inspiration in the views taught by the Tirthankars. Tirtha is also a meaning of a sacred place, as you know, and our Tirthankaras helped us to build a bridge to cross the ocean of life. Well, we'll conclude here, and I will just ask you to start the pilgrimage, as I will do, in making the views of Anuvrat movement known to your fellow countrymen. Thank you.
Marham. I'm going to now request Professor Eugen to join us, because we were waiting for Chris's presentation to reach its conclusion with the video, and the video said I'm not reaching the end because this is not the end of the Anuvrat, it's the beginning. However, it is the end of the conference, and Eugen did have something more to add to that.
I would very much like to add my acknowledgements and my heartfelt thanks for this absolutely wonderful conference, which would be very difficult to organize even in Europe or the United States, I assume. And I would like to testify the privilege I had to meet this unique combination of religious people and scholars of religion, and the warmth of the Indians, the Indian organizers, including the chief convener and Mr. Patavari, the convener, and particularly in my personal case, Mr. Vikash Chajir. It was absolutely extremely auspicious to be here with you and to hear the inspirational words of Acharya Mahashamanji, and to have all the other monks and nuns presenting their views and interfering with the non-Indians, and thus producing a very exceptional event. Thank you so much.